Greetings, historians. Welcome to Lore of the Dragon. A corrupted champion, a fallen hero. This is the state of Dark Spyro. As we watched the events of the Battle of the Dragons occur, our sights were fixated on the present and the future of what might happen to him. But what of his past? What brought this Spyro, one perhaps like any other, to turn to darkness and embrace its corrupting power? I'll begin by looking at what we know. A Spyro, somewhat identical to the one in the reignited timeline, the one that freed the dragons from the spells of Nasty Nork, brought peace to the lands of Avalar, and brought the dragons back to their ancestral land, turned to Dark Aether. At the time, he was contained, locked away, but somehow he was able to escape his confinement and then travel through an interdimensional portal opened by an individual known as Dr. Entropy. Another Spyro, one untouched by the dark powers, chased after him through dimensions. This chase, this battle, would end in a somewhat anticlimactic end, with the Dark Spyro being reverted to an egg and sent back to his home dimension. With this background, and hopefully everyone caught up to this, I would like to focus on the purpose of my talk, and what I say is not going to be taken as truth or gospel, but rather a speculative view upon which we can see this story, and you are welcome to do the same. I'm going to try to give an understanding of what exactly corrupted Spyro, as of course this is important to know. Dark Aether is a twisted and evil version of what we know as Aether, which serves as a sort of cosmic magic within the Legend timeline. However, after the Legend timeline, we hadn't really heard of Aether, rather hearing it referred to as magic. But Aether and magic, and the dark energies of other timelines appear similar, if not act the same. But when the Battle of the Dragons occurred, we once again were greeted by this cosmic power. Aether and Dark Aether serve as two sides to the same coin, both accompanied by what are called Aether Crests. We see them displayed in the lands conquered by Dark Spyro during the battle, one specifically to the element of Dark Aether. In the Legend timeline, it is shown that Dark Aether not only corrupts, but is brought forth by negative emotions like loss or sadness. A prime example being when the Legend Spyro loses his father figure, an individual known as Ignitus. Others whom possess this power have seemed to revel in its gifts, embracing it. This perhaps can be seen in the Dark Master, Malefor. This new Spyro not only displays the Dark Aether crest proudly across his conquered lands, but it is said as well that he loves Dark Aether. He embraces its power like the dragons before him. Now, how did this Dark Spyro become Dark Spyro? There is, of course, the unfortunate case that somewhere along his journey, he was exposed to the dark powers and corrupted. We don't know particularly where this could be, as the Dragon Realms at least don't really consist of anything like dark magic. There are theoretical places where this could have happened, however, and I believe it would particularly be important to look at the buildings and portal style that we see along the banners Dark Spyro brings. These structures hail from the land of magic crafters, the home of magically inclined dragons, more so than their counterparts. Because they tinker with magic, infusing it into objects and the like, I wonder if they could have delved too deeply into their work. Something would have been made, and somehow it would have caused the creation of Dark Spyro. How the magic crafters would have reacted is not known, but perhaps eventually a situation like in the Skylanders Academy universe could have transpired, in which Spyro would have been split into two versions of himself, one good and one evil. There isn't anything substantial to support this outside of it happened in other universes, and perhaps the magic crafters could achieve something like this. Though there is another that's far more tragic than Spyro accidentally finding it, one that perhaps was bound to happen due to his own nature. In a small biography given to us about the Spyro that's chasing after Dark Spyro, we are greeted by his likes and what he hates, and one of those is hating anyone who threatens the Dragon Realm. Now, hate is a strong word, as some of you might have heard before, and I believe this is to be a mix of interrupting his chances to rest, or genuinely wanting to protect his home. Perhaps one day, a terrible threat fell upon the Dragon Realm, and Spyro, of course, went to combat the foe, but perhaps this threat could have been something that brought Dark Aether with it, and the hatred that Spyro had for it after exposure to dark aether was only amplified. The magic crafters doing what they could trap this other Spyro, but this other Spyro was able to escape due to the help of most likely Nasty Nork, the antagonist to the Dragon Realm and to Spyro originally. Now, why he would team up with Nasty Nork is perplexing, because he did threaten the Dragon Realms before, yet Spyro, for whatever reason, at this point is working with him. It could be that his love for the Dragon Realm had faltered after this entrapment, or perhaps again he could have been split in two, one side being his benevolent side and the other side being filled with spite and hate for his home. In addition, this could have been before Nasty Nork had posed a threat to the Dragon Realm, as at one point, as Lindar said, he wasn't actually considered a threat. Whatever the case, eventually Dark Spyro and Nasty Nork would form a sort of alliance, and along with a multitude of other Spyros and Nasty Norks would set off for a campaign to conquer new lands. For now, that will be all from me, but feel free to voice your own thoughts or ideas for how this Spyro might have fallen to darkness. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked, and commented to the channel over the years. Honestly, it does put a smile on my face to see that everyone's enjoying this stuff as much as I do. And as always, a big thank you to Abyssal Blue for the red gem, Jabby for the red and green gem, and Ekrastor to Kiasu Shin, and Shaggy for the blue gems over on Patreon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, I'll see you all the next time we talk about lore or speculate. Stay safe, historians.